if you guys follow me on Instagram, there's legit this account. I don't know if she's Liz's sister or not, but if she is Liz's sister, I don't know why she's so butthurt about my commentary, because there are multiple people out there who covers Bravo. I'm not even dropping any tea or anything that's not already out there. All I'm doing is giving commentary and opinions, recaps. But I don't know, she's got her butt cheeks in a clench because she seems to be upset about what I'm saying. My opinions about all of these castmates on all of the franchises, it fluctuates. One minute I think you're great, and the next minute I'm like, get the fuck out of my TV. I don't want to see you. So it fluctuates. At the end of the day, I don't know these damn people. They're not in my life. They don't know me. Our worlds are never going to interact like that. She hopped onto my Instagram because that was a hill that she was willing to die on, was that Alicia was not homeless. Okay, girl. I don't know why it bothered you so much. This is giving like that girl in OC, Jen Pedantry, I can't even say her last name. She legit hopped onto my freaking TikTok and my Instagram, gave me like a whole entire novel. That was like all the way from like Christmas time, I think it was. I didn't even know that she was in my message requests, because like legit, if I don't check the message request tab, you legit just sitting there for like 2-3 months. Whatever. Anyway, okay, so the episode picks up where it left off, which is they're in Boston for Rich's Sinatra impersonation. He says he doesn't like to be called a Sinatra impersonator, but what else would you call it? I didn't think he was that great. And listen, I know Sinatra. I'm an old soul. I love reading classics. I love watching classic movies. I love classic television. One of my favorite sitcoms is I Love Lucy. And like, I know Sinatra's music because he actually sang one of my favorite songs, Only Fools Rush In, but that's not a Sinatra song. That's an Elvis song. I bet he didn't think somebody like me, a millennial, would know that, but I know that. That's an Elvis Presley song, Only Fools Rush In. It's one of my favorite songs. I don't necessarily like the one that Elvis did, even though he's the original, but there's been some great covers, but it's one of my favorite love songs anyway. So Rich is out there singing. While all this happens, the ladies, they're fighting. If I was Rosie, I would have been annoyed. I would have been like, excuse you, my man's up there singing. Well, anyway, Alicia, she's crying and she's very emotional, and it was very upsetting seeing that because, you know, I know it's not like her just crying for the cameras. Like, I felt she was genuinely upset. I felt like it was spliced all crazy. The whole entire episode wasn't very cohesive. So it was just like splice and edit to make it try to look seamless, but it looked crazy to me. She was very emotional. And then for some weird reason, they wouldn't just say what it is. Like, Joellen, you seem weird because, like, legit, it's filmed. So why would you even say something like that? I think Joellen is very aware of the cameras, and she wants to come off a certain way to the camera. She's giving me legit Melissa Gorka vibes. I can't explain it, but I feel like she is very aware of the cameras. She wants the audience to see her as a certain way. She wants the audience to see her as a girl's girl. She's a truth teller, that she's authentic. I think she wants everyone to view her positively. So after this episode, the vibe that I'm getting is that, oh, she wants to be Teresa, but she's really Melissa. That's the vibe I'm getting. So Ashley, Monique, and Rosie, they're all confused, like, what the hell is going on? Joellen's like, oh, she just has allergies. Like, girl, you're filmed. Like, what? But Monique is like besties with Rosie and also really good friends with Alicia. And according to Alicia, she's known her for years. And Monique is married to a former New England Patriots football player, I think. And I was like, oh, thank God they bought somebody who's not white. Listen, I always felt it was so weird that these franchises, except for Atlanta and Potomac, cater to a white audience and a white cast, which even the original RHORI was like so ridiculous to me, because I was like, that's not representative of New York City. Like, that's not even close to a representation of New York City. She's there. Alicia said that, you know, if Monique would have been in the car, she would have ripped Liz a new asshole. Oh, Monique definitely looks like a girl that would get down. I don't know if maybe they'll bring her on potentially as a friend of or whatever. Let's see how it goes, right? Because Rula was basically MIA. They need to legit put Rula on the back of a milk carton because she's a full-time housewife, but she's basically MIA. There should be a "Have you seen Rula" poster on like our TV screen somewhere, because where she's been. I think they let it slide this season because it's the premiere season, but also because Joellen made her so central to Joellen's storyline. I felt like production and the network had their hands tied, because that would just have been way too much to edit out. which is where Joellen really fucked up, because I said, Joellen, if you were looking to get her off the cast, the best thing you could have done was to just let it go. But the fact that she kept chewing on that bone, now you're making the network have to bring her on. But Rula's being strategic because she doesn't want to film with the cast. She picks and chooses when she wants to film. I don't know if that'll fly for next season though, but I mean, she's got so much shit going on with Brian that they might just bring her back just because the messy train wreck of it all. Now, I will say this. I don't especially enjoy watching Liz on my TV screen. She's giving Dolores vibes. I know a lot of people think that Dolores is like a very nice person, and she might very well be, but I've always side-eyed Dolores ever since she wrote that character letter for Tommy Manso. Ever since that, I don't care how nice she is and how many pets she's adopted. I always side-eye that. And Liz reminds me of that. Well, anyway, Liz is like, I'm going to go outside to smoke. It's 2026. People are still smoking? Okay, whatever. Here's the thing that I will say. I actually found myself seeing it from Liz's perspective a little bit. Now, I don't agree with that whole bullshit fight that she had with Alicia. I'm totally on Alicia's side with that whole whether she was homeless or not. The thing with Joellen and Liz, though, that I wasn't vibing with and that I could see it from Liz's perspective is that if I am mad, then I would be like, get out of my fucking face. So I totally get the vibe that Liz was giving because, listen, Joellen, if you can't see that she is pissed and she don't want to deal with you, you keep trying to resurrect it. When they are at that bar, restaurant, nightclub, I don't even know where Rich was at. He was in Boston somewhere. Even though Alicia's the one that is upset, emotional, she's crying, it was done, you know. And that's why, like, Alicia, she is my favorite because Alicia has such good social cues. Listen, her mom and those 20 aunts of her, they raised her right, because her going into that restaurant, you know, like, she's upset, whatever, but like that was it. She dropped it. She wasn't looking to make a scene. Whereas Joellen, this is why I said, you know, Joellen, she wants to be Teresa, but she's coming off like she's Melissa to me, because you know, at this restaurant, and Alicia's the one that's upset. I felt like she kept on trying to keep that argument alive. Now, people might be like, oh, well, she's just trying to, you know, be the peacemaker. How are you being the peacemaker when they are both obviously trying to not talk about it anymore? But Liz she's hot. You could see she's getting hot. People react differently, whatever. But you out there saying that this girl is your best friend, so you should know how she reacts. I do not like someone that will not give me space. Listen, Liz is a grown woman. At 55 years old, if she wants to talk to you and hash it out with you later on, I have no doubt that she will call you up, tell you why you're an asshole, whatever. You guys could powwow over the phone, in person, whatever. But at that moment, if you know somebody's feeling really angry, the worst thing you could do is act like Joellen. Be in my face. Be so close to me. Wanting to hold my hands. Like, don't touch me. Never touch someone when they're upset. That's like the worst thing you could do. She's already feeling a certain way. Now you're looking like an asshole following her out, making me, the viewer, think like, oh, what are you doing, Joellen? You trying to catch a TV moment here? So she follows her out. They get in each other's face. Then she keeps on following Liz, saying, what did I do wrong? And it's kind of giving clingy, because when I think back to like my younger years, I've seen girls like Joellen where like, and not even girls that I know, these would just be like people that I would see on the streets. I mean, if you enjoy people watching, New York City is the best place to do it. Legit, just people on the streets that I would see. I remember one time there was like a girl, I'm assuming it's her boyfriend, her man, her situationship, I don't know. But they were fighting on the streets. And like legit, the girl just kept on following the guy, where the guy is like, yo, like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, what don't you understand? I don't want nothing to do with you. But the girl would not leave him alone. Like, she kept following him. And I was like, girl, like, what are you doing? He's telling you to like get the fuck away from him. Like, I thought she legit looked crazy, because she was like following after him. He was like crossing the street. She was like crossing over. It was crazy. Well, anyway, that's like what it reminded me of. I was like, Joellen, you're like following Liz, and she don't like want nothing to do with you. She tugs at her hair. I mean, I don't know what the hell Liz was doing. I don't know if she was trying to pull her hair and it ended up being a tug. That was weird as fuck. But then she pushes Joellen's chair. Now, Joellen said she kicked the chair. It looked like she just shoved the chair. But Liz was definitely being aggressive. 100%. She was 100% being aggressive. Joellen, though, I felt like, just like with the whole Rula thing, she don't know when to let something go. She just looked like a lackey. You know how I said every bully on every sitcom that you've ever watched as a kid, the bully always has a lackey. And I was like, well, Kelsey's definitely Liz's lackey. No, I think this is one of those sitcoms where the bully has two lackeys because Joellen looked like such a lackey. I was kind of surprised because I was like, oh, Joellen, she ain't no punk. But now I'm thinking, oh, maybe she is a punk. I don't know. We have a singular scene with Rosie and Rich's family. Rosie says she loves spending time with Rich's big Italian family. They talk about having children. She doesn't want to have kids. I mean, look at all these women on this franchise that have mama drama. So, like, if she's feeling like, well, I don't know if I want to be a mother, you know, I don't want to be the kind of mother that I have. I don't know if I'll be a good mother, whatever. All valid reasons. Sometimes it's not about finances and it's not about stability. Sometimes it's just about you being self-aware enough to realize, you know what, I might be a shitty mother. That is okay because you know what, I would rather have a woman that is self-aware enough to realize that, yeah, I might be a shitty mother versus a woman having a kid ends up being a shitty mother who suffers. I actually think that's a great thing that she's self-aware enough to realize that. Kudos for you. Now, Rich, he wants kids, which I'm kind of confused about because, like, isn't that stuff that you guys would talk about, like, before you get married? Whether, like, I'm so confused about that. Which is, she's like, in 2 years, you know, I'll consider it. I mean, I don't know. I will say this, though. Girl, the Botox, it keeps you looking snatched, but you can't Botox your eggs. You can't Botox your ovaries. You can freeze your eggs, you can freeze all of that, your embryos, but it's very expensive. I'm going to say the majority of situations, stuff like that is an out-of-pocket expense that is not covered. But I did like that scene. I enjoy watching that scene with the family. Now, Kelsey and Joellen, they have a scene where they're doing paintings. I was pretty impressed with Kelsey when she did her painting. I think it was like a sunset, a beach sunset. I was like, okay, that looks pretty impressive. Joellen painted a pig with a slash that said slam pig. When she screamed out, you slam pig, that was prostitution whore. That is going up there with prostitution whore. Put it on a mug. Have a cute little piggy. Put it on a tumbler. Put it on a t-shirt. Put it on a book bag, put it everywhere, capitalize on it. So Joellen is rehashing what happened with her and Liz to Kelsey. Listen, Joellen, you are not going to get an ally with Kelsey when it comes to Liz. Kelsey is scared of Liz. This is why, like, Alicia, the way that Alicia flipped out on Rosie when Rosie was like, oh, she says that, you know, she's scared of you or you're scary. And then the way Alicia flipped out, that's why I'm kind of like, now in this episode, you have Alicia sitting in her confessional saying that it feels so empowering to be able to say that Liz is abusive. The way that Liz has these women in her clutches, I'm like, damn, if she was a man, we would all be saying that this is an abusive, toxic relationship. Women can be just as toxic as men. I think we as society, we excuse it. But if that was a man, we would be like, girl, you in a toxic relationship. This is a DV situation right here. And let me tell you, abusive relationship is not just romantic relationships. Abusive relationships can and does often happen in friendships as well. This is definitely toxic friendships right here. But the fact that Alicia is saying that she feels so empowered to be able to say that Liz is abusive, I was just like, girl, but you legit flipped the fuck out when Rosie brought that up. And again, this is very similar to situations where the woman in a romantic relationship is getting the shit beat out of her by her man, and then your friend goes and tells you, hey girl, I think you need to leave this man. He's beating the shit out of you. You need to leave him. But the woman flips the fuck out and it's like, oh, you don't know. You don't know our relationship. He treats me good. That man loves me. He worships me. And then you get mad at the friend for saying that you need to leave this abusive relationship. Like, legit, this is what it's giving. This is what it's giving. Alicia and her mom, she has a sit down with her mom, and the mom is not happy with the way it all plays out. Listen, the aunts and the mother, they're always going to side with Alicia. Now, Kelsey has a scene with Billy, Bob, Bobo at the gym, whatever. Whenever I see Kelsey's scenes, I never find it authentic or genuine because I always have it in the back of my head, like, oh, she's putting on this shit for the cameras. I 100% believe that Billy is well aware of the situation. Like, I don't know what you think you're doing on TV, but the acting is not given, okay? Even if all these rumors weren't flying out there about you, I did not believe for one hot second that they have not sexually been together for 2 years. Please. I also think the only reason why Billy is allowing himself to look like a punk is because, one, he wants to be on TV. The majority of the time, I'm going to say 99% of the time, fame will always get you. So I think he's playing along because, one, he wants the fame. He wants to be on TV. He likes seeing himself on TV. And two, I do think that the two of them are genuinely together. And she's probably like, listen, this is what I was cast with. This is our opportunity. You got to play ball. So Billy's willing to play ball even though he looks like a punk. I don't think, even if the relationship is real, I don't think that those two are going to last. But Billy, you will forever be the person on TV that your small little state of Rhode Island will know as the punk on the side. Because Kelsey was cast as this kept woman that she's trying to play it up to the cameras, they don't think that she is winning over the majority of the fan base to make herself seem a certain way. If you apply that gold digger label to any of the housewives in any of the franchises, you need to put that label on Kelsey because she's legit out there saying just as much, okay? She basically gives herself that label. But I don't even believe any of the bullshit that she's saying. I don't believe that man's paying for her apartment. Now, Liz, Kelsey, and Dolores, they have a scene. I kind of feel like Dolores, she's hyping up Liz. Fans of New Jersey, they wanted to see that kind of loyalty that Dolores, the way she is like hyping up Liz in this whole situation, in this whole scene. I have never seen Dolores hyped up Teresa that way. Never. In New Jersey, she always wants to be Switzerland. Well, she definitely isn't Switzerland in Rhode Island, I'll tell you that. Kelsey, though, Kelsey, she doesn't want to get involved. Maybe she thinks she'll get her ass beat. Listen, I don't know why these women are so scared of Liz because, like, legit, Liz is 55 years old. Like, Kelsey, you out there in the gym working with your man saying that your ex is, like, still paying for your gym membership or something. Girl, start lifting some weights, all right? Start lifting some weights. She's quiet as a church mouse. She don't want to say nothing. She don't want to get involved. I legit think that Liz thinks she's on an episode of Mob Wives. Now, Liz and Rula, they meet up. Of course they do, because Liz knows that Rula can't stand Joellen. So she meets up. Rula, it was nice of you to grace our TV screen. We saw you for a hot 5 seconds. I could take down my "Have you seen this missing person" poster now. But anyway, I mean, do I think the two of them are friends? No. But I also think that Liz knows that Rula hates Joellen. Rula's like, oh, you're finally waking up. Good morning. Good morning, Liz. You're finally waking up. And Liz is like, no, I've been awake. I've been knowing this. And they do a flashback of all the times that, you know, Joellen seems to be a flip-flopper, messy, disingenuous, inauthentic, etc., playing it up for the cameras. I forgot this because a lot of the comments on social media, they try to spin it as if Rosie was the one that started it. But when they did the flashback, you actually see Liz saying to Joellen, well, you were the one that brought it up about the whole Rosie thing, about, like, you know, Rosie saying if Kelsey and her fake ass storyline, if she was in a polyamorous, whatever the hell it was, I don't even give a fuck. But anyway, that's the first flashback you see. And Liz actually calls Joellen out for it and saying, well, no, you were the one that brought it up. It wasn't like she just brought it up out of nowhere. And I think a lot of people on social media, when they're hopping onto the comments, they forget about that too. Anyway, but they also show all the other times that Joellen is basically producing. Now, Rula, she says that the things that Joellen is accusing Brian of, that she's basically cheating on her husband with. I will say this. I haven't put it out there because I don't have anything to back it up. I get so many DMs. And listen, I've asked a few people. I'm not putting it out there because I don't know if it's true or not. But I will say, though, a lot of people have slipped into my DMs saying that Joellen is a loose woman. And not in the, oh, I'm having a threesome with my husband kind of loose. I'm talking about she legit out there cheating on her husband. But do I know that? I don't know that. But I will say that I do get a lot of DMs from people who claim to be locals. Now, Rula, she's saying that, you know, Joellen's out there doing whatever she's doing. So I'm guessing that Rula, she's getting those same DMs. Now, listen, Joellen, they meet up right off the bat. It starts going sideways. I don't know if there was like rain coming or the wind or what, maybe a whole bunch of things, whatever. She's 55 years old. You're like, what, 37? You're like in your mid 30s. So it was really weird because she kept on saying, you're my best friend. Liz is like, girl, I don't know you like that. Like, don't be calling me your bestie because we are not biffle. Best friends for life, okay? Liz is just like, okay, you ain't my girl like that. Joellen, she's looking a little bit like a pick-me girl. In that scene, it reminds me of, you know how like guys will have like this girl that they call up for a booty call, but like that's all you are is a booty call. But that girl, she don't think she's just a booty call. She goes and tells everybody, oh yeah, that's my boyfriend. That's my man. We're in a relationship. Meanwhile, the guy's like, no, yeah, she's just somebody I call up just to have sex with. That was what that was giving. Because I was like, oh, Joellen, you are the booty call and you don't even know it. She's legit telling you to your face, like, we're not friends like that. Liz is just like, you're fake, you're phony, you're disingenuous, you're inauthentic. Basically, she's saying you're producing for the cameras. You're very well aware of the cameras and you're putting on a show for the cameras. Liz, I want you to have that same energy that you have for Joellen in that scene. I want you to have that energy for Kelsey because you know damn well that Miss Slam Pig Rhode Island is very much running a scripted storyline at this point with that nonsense. Even though I don't necessarily enjoy watching Liz, I'm going to call a thing because what she was saying about Joellen, I was like, oh, you know what? I see it. But in this episode, the way it played out, I was like, oh, Joellen, I thought you weren't a punk, but no, you actually might be a punk. Like, very pick me energy, very produced. It's just like, all right, whatever. This isn't going nowhere. I'm bouncing. She gets up and she leaves, and that's how the episode ends. So we have the finale episode coming up and then the season reunion. So let me know what you guys think of the episode.